One of the struggles we face in emergency management is how to get our youth preparedness programs going. One of our partners in Arkansas, Gary Ragen of Arkansas Division of Emergency Management, has shown the best prowess thus far with his ability to start youth preparedness councils, youth preparedness camps. He starts at the top at the state level and seems to have success getting to the local levels. I spend a lot of time talking about Gary and his impact with partners of mine from regions across the United States. Today, Gary's going to share his secrets and how he does what he does.
Hi, I'm Bill Bischoff, FEMA Region 6 Community Preparedness Officer. This is the hashtag R6 Prepared podcast. We shine the light on community preparedness across Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Texas, and the 68 tribal nations within. We hope you enjoy the show.
For us, we modeled our Region 6 Youth Preparedness Council a bit after seeing what happens on the National Youth Preparedness Council. Right. And then I always felt like the way we wanted to go was to the local level, where really the huge benefit would be at the local level. So you, more than anybody else, you were the first one to start a state youth preparedness council back in, I believe, 2016. Right. And that had folks, young people from across the state of Arkansas thrown in. And then you saw huge benefit to that by them spinning off and starting the local youth preparedness councils. What were the benefits? What were the people doing? What were the young people doing in their communities that brought benefit to their communities?
Well, that is true. That is where we realized that the best way to implement these councils was at the local level, because these students are interested in their homes, their families, their communities. So the impact is immediately reflected in what these students are doing. Some of these high school students are doing presentations in the elementary schools. Some of them are doing projects that are whole community based, and they're able to find success just locally, no matter what type of project that they're working on.
And that's being felt locally. So when they're doing these presentations, are they doing them about disaster preparedness or because if they're doing it, it seems like your councils have really been successful with the student tools for emergency preparedness, which seems to go towards 3rd to 5th grade students. What is it that they're teaching the 3rd to 5th graders?
Well, the nice thing about that program is it starts them so young, and it's just the very basics of preparing in your community. They're teaching these 5th graders about how to put together a home disaster kit, how to put together a home emergency plan, how to put together a home evacuation plan. The students not only learn these skills, but they carry this information back into the home. And any time that you can convey this message into the home, then you're building a more resilient community overall. It gets the message of emergency preparedness in the homes.
Fantastic. So when they're doing this, they're bringing it through the school into the home. You were also saying that they do outreach in the community. So who are they going to? The Lions Club, the Rotary Club? Just how's that work?
Absolutely. They a lot of times they'll start out with an informational booth, say at the county fair or at a local fall festival, and they'll just interact with those individuals in the home, just again to get that message out of basic individual preparedness. They also are advocating with their schools on developing CERT teams. The students want this. They approach the schools, and they're taking what used to be a standard fire marshal role for a student, and they're going ahead and developing it into a full CERT program. So we have some schools that actually have put high school CERT students into a team in their high schools. So they're carrying the messaging into the schools as well as their homes. But they also engage in, for example, holiday awareness programs around Halloween, safety initiatives for the students or to go out trick-or-treating at night. This was led by one of our county councils. So they'll pick up whatever initiatives are important to that community.
I think that's huge, and I think you share the same burden I do, which is, we've got people that look at us as community preparedness officers, or who are somehow supposed to be in all churches, all civic clubs, all
right.
every place with our little capes flying in to deliver messages of preparedness. And indeed, we don't there's no way we can ever get that done. So these young people are serving as youthful ambassadors of preparedness for us. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to you and yours at Arkansas Department of Emergency Management for getting behind that, because it delivers that preparedness message in a way that I never could, to people that would listen so much better to the people that are delivering it from their community, the investment in the future that is the young people.
Well, that's entirely true, Bill. The community has to have the buy-in. It's not about money. It's not about funding. It's just about the community having that interest in preparedness and owning it themselves.
Where are you seeing the success in that? Are you seeing so not all councils? We've talked over the last couple of years about how you brought in the councils, and you've acknowledged that in some places it really takes off and it does well. In other places it doesn't, and you seem to see some success in other school programs, teen CERT programs that are in the schools, maybe run by your junior ROTC programs. What is it that makes one succeed and one not?
Well, actually, Bill, it's the local leadership. It's actually the local leadership. If you have a great, strong county Office of Emergency Management coordinator who can and has the opportunity to work with these groups, that's a tremendous help. If the school has a sponsor that's interested in working with these students, that again is a tremendous help. Students still have to have that guidance from their adult, the responsible parties in the school to help guide them through these programs. And if we can get local adult sponsors to help guide these groups, that really does lay the groundwork for success. But once again, it's all about the local interest.
Gotcha. So for you, I think what I'm hearing is you feel that same sense of comfort that I feel, knowing that you've got these young people out there doing what they can to convey the message of preparedness and how important it is to protect and prepare themselves for disaster. But you're saying that's felt much more strongly at the local level?
Oh, absolutely. And in working with these programs, we're really trying to build sustainable programs. That's why we have these programs that just kind of leapfrog on each other. The high school students do these presentations, such as in the STEP program, in the elementary schools. This is getting that foundation laid for these students to be interested in preparedness and taking it on as a community responsibility. Those fifth graders will eventually work their ways into the high school, where they then continue as representatives on the county council. So it's a continuous, sustainable program coming up. Many of our students go on to college. Many enter into emergency management programs in college. Many of them enter into the responder fields, police, fire, and EMS, and it gives them an avenue to explore career opportunities as well as serve their communities.
Where does it seem to resonate the most, in the larger cities or in the smaller cities? Because it sounds to me like the success may be seen a lot more in the more rural areas.
We do seem to see more opportunity in the rural areas with the students. It could just be the rural nature of the community. It's easier for it to be a more prominent program within their community and gives them opportunity for leadership where otherwise they wouldn't have. They just don't have as many opportunities. So this really gives them a strong ability to go in and impact them and do some good. And the lack of resources in many small communities really lends itself to these students being part of that solution. numbers that we've seen in studies through the National Fire programs, you're looking at an average age of 50 to 60 for your volunteer firefighters in rural areas. And we've just got to initiate those programs to get these young people involved and being part of their community. So these programs that we do are really twofold. Actual investment in their community as a volunteer, but then also looking at this as career opportunities. That's why we also have the youth camps in the summer, which has really become a very successful program for us. We now have 4 of our colleges. We're looking to add 2 more this summer. We have colleges here in Arkansas that offer a 1-week youth preparedness camp where the students take CERT and several other preparedness trainings where they get to actually be on campus and take the training and interact with many different types of responders throughout that week, because the courses are actually taught by subject matter experts from police, fire, and EMS. So once again, it's a fantastic opportunity for students to not only develop community service skills, but also to look at these professions as a potential career opportunity for them.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to ask you about the camps because for years we have, and you and I have both attended the Texas Youth Preparedness Camp offered by Texas School Safety Center there at Texas State University, San Marcos, Texas. And we have seen, camps take off across the other states, Arkansas included. But it seemed like you took what you saw there, the hamburger, and turned it into McDonald's. What is it that's making these camps so successful in Arkansas? Because I want to say you started with Arkansas State a few years ago, maybe in 2016 or 17, and then Arkansas Tech a year later, and now both of them have been joined by North Arkansas College. I want to say Pulaski Tech out of now with the University of Arkansas system. And more seem to be joining every spring and summer. What is it that's making that happen?
Well, part of the reason we're having such success with the camps is, again, the colleges buy into this concept. Colleges are great at looking at community service. They identify these camps as an opportunity to bring students onto their campus, show them what they're about. So it's part of a ability for these students to see that school, see what they have to offer, because we're looking at the students that go to these camps are potential students for these colleges, because most of them are in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade that attend. So they come in and they get an opportunity to see the community, but it also gives an opportunity for the college to partner with its community providers, because in the process of setting up the camps, the colleges bring on the local providers in police, fire, and EMS to actually teach the subject matter that's offered in that course. So the colleges see it as a tremendous opportunity to work more closely in their community as a partner. And again, the student opportunity is just overwhelming. Students not only develop community service skills, but they also get to look at these professions as a possible career choice. So it's a win-win for the colleges and for the students.
How have you found these partners? What is it that how do you find that person and turn it into a camp?
Well, I try to initiate the contact, and I call the college and generally just try to speak with their marketing people, with their community outreach people, and I'll visit with them, explain the concept of the camp, and that's where we're finding our success. I go out to them. I don't just send out emails and sit back and wait for a response. I actually travel around the state. I'll sit down with the college representatives, talk to them about the program. Of course, engaging with my county OEM and the responders in those communities. It's a community effort. If this camp is desired, the whole community, once again, has to want it. So working through my county coordinator, we'll visit with those schools and we'll just talk to them about the concept. And so far, they're interested in these community programs. They're interested in these types of outreach. And it's not a hard sell once you can just find the person to talk to.
Well, and I've been to them. I've been to the one at North Arkansas College. I've been to the one at Arkansas State and Arkansas Tech. And I just so impressed by the level of instruction, the commitment, dedication of the people that are instructing, the colleges themselves, on what they provide. They provide food. They provide lodging there in the dorms and the cafeterias, at least at the ones that are residential camps. Of course, the Pulaski Tech and the North Arkansas College are the students are already in the area, so it's day camps. But the bottom line is there's some cost involved. Who's footing the cost for these camps?
Well, we've been able to scholarship some of those out of some funding we have at the state. Organizations such as the Arkansas Food Bank found out about our program, and they scholarshiped several students across the state last year for the camp. So funding is something that we're always looking for, trying to build in a sustainable funding mechanism for these camps. We prefer to be able to offer the camps to the students. Sometimes we may fall a little short on the funding, and we can look at some sponsorships at the local level. We're actually looking this year, we're going to be sending out a note to our county OEM coordinators to ask them to secure funding for students to attend the camp. So we're always looking for funding mechanisms. And I can tell you this, the colleges themselves are trying to do this at a bare bones minimum just to get the students in the camps. So they're working with us great to just reduce the cost as much as we can and to just make these just as affordable and just as available to any student that wants to attend.
If anybody does want to start a youth preparedness council in the state of Arkansas or any place else, but for that matter, but in the state of Arkansas, or they want to do a camp, who do they need to talk to?
And they can call me at the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management at 501-683-6700. And I would be more than happy to get back with them and see what we can work on. Every camp is unique. Every camp is different. And I really work to get what you want in your community when you want to do one of these camps or when you want to do a council. Because every county in this state is different, and we try to customize for what you need at that local level.
Gary and I can't do the work we do without the support we get from our leadership. We'd like to put in a special thanks to Kathy Smith and A.J. Gary of Arkansas Division of Emergency Management, and Shirley Fox, Randy Michelle, and Tony Robinson of FEMA Region 6. We'd also like to thank Leland Baker and Carmen Castro of FEMA Region 6 for their production of the hashtag R6 Prepares podcast. Look for more of our podcast on the hashtag R6 Prepares channel on YouTube. Thank you.